Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of our EAFC 25 RTG career mode here with Stoke City. We are returning today with the season 4 finale as we're going to play our final 2 league games. First away in the north against Newcastle United at St James's, and then returning back home to take on Spurs at the Britannia. Really tough run-in as we face the teams in 3rd and 6th, and of course currently 2 points behind Manchester United. We're going to need a big helping hand if we are to finish in that 7th place spot and qualify for the Europa Conference League. But all we can do is win our 2 remaining fixtures, hope that United slip up, and hopefully we will qualify for that Conference League next season. So we're just going to jump straight into our first game. As I say, Newcastle away from home at St James's Park, where anything but a victory will see us crash out of the race. Come on the Potters. Here we go then, off and underway, game 1 of 2. We know that even if we win both of these games, it still may not be enough. But as I said in the intro, all we can do is do our job. What a start this will be. Manhoff fires off target, but what a start in the opening 3 minutes. Tonali into Camavinga. This Newcastle team absolutely stacked, so it's no real surprise they've been up at the top of the Premier League this season. But I've got pretty much my full strength team out there at the moment, other than Jordan Boz, who's going to miss the remainder of the season through injury. But there's the skipper Bay, what a save. Lima down the right hand side for Newcastle, ball slid through to Isak, pegged back nicely for Eduardo Camavinga, saved by Bilal at the near post and cleared by Flamingo. Forward to Lewis Skelly now, and the skipper Bay skips away from Lima and back to Lewis Skelly. Nice build up from the Potters. Lewis Skelly going all the way. His shot blocked and Newcastle will clear. Frantic opening half an hour or so here. We're underway here in the second half. Still deadlocked at 0-0, and of course we need the win today. Nothing but a win is good enough as Murphy goes on and Bilal makes a good save at the near post. Gordon to take the corner, goes short to Murphy once again, who's caused me issues today. Off the bench, Isak pegs it back, good block. Longstaff's header towards goal and claimed by Bilal at the second time of asking. He'll look to get us forward as well here as Aaron's down the line for Million, can't quite get there, but it's given away. And Oscarson has it now into Sainz. Oscarson with him. And we've got a man over. It's Million to look to bend one and kept out by Costa. Well, 6 minutes to play here. We need to get the ball forward. And we need to find a goal, otherwise it is all but over. And I said we've got to do our job, and at the moment we're not even doing that. Sainz does well through the gap for Bay. Danso comes across. There's Oscarson and Million. And Borja Sainz with the chance! And Sainz wins it at the death. It might not even be enough. Depends on the results elsewhere. But all we can do is do our job and hope that United slip up elsewhere. Big goal from the Spaniard. Well, it may end up being one of the biggest goals of the season. It may end up meaning absolutely nothing depending on the United result. Borja Sainz with the goal, and his most important in a Stoke City shirt so far. We left it late, but we stuck in the game, and it was composed play around the edge of the box as I was feeling pretty nervy, but we waited for the chance. Sainz took it. Let's go and find out how United got on. All right then, guys, as we get back to the menu, let's take a look at the league table, where we still remain in 8th, but level on points with United. So they have drawn. Yeah, they drew 2-2 at home to Brentford. So there's still a very, very slim chance. We've got identical records, but they've got a far superior goal difference. So we need to better their result on the final day. So a win for us and a draw or a loss for United will do it. A draw for us and a loss for United will also see us leapfrog them into 7th place and qualify for the Europa Conference League for next season. It was a slim chance. We've just given ourselves a tiny glimmer of hope with those results. So let's jump into our next game. Of course, a tricky one to close out as we take on Spurs. But back at home at the Britannia, Manchester United travelling to Fulham, who do look as if they will have saved themselves from relegation after going on a good run in the second half of the campaign. So they don't have too much to play for, but we need them to pull out a result against the Reds. Come on, you Potters. Well, underway here, and of course, we know that despite winning, we could still finish in 8th, depending on the result of Manchester United's game at the Cottage. But as I said in the last game, all we can do is do our job, get the win here and hope for a slip up from the Reds. But we know how good this Spurs team is. The front three absolutely tore me apart in the reverse fixture as Duranville looks to get away. Lovely feet. Duranville through to Darwin Núñez and a big save by Bilal, although the flag is up. Expecting a tricky game, and we're going to have to be at our best defensively. We're probably going to need a little bit of luck as well, as Lewis Skelly does well. Now there could be space to break as Bay's sent away down the left. Abbott comes across and Bay beats him. And now Diamonde with Aarons in support. Just slowed it down slightly, but there's still space as Aarons is through and Max Aarons opens the scoring. What a season the Englishman is having. And the former Canary and Cherry, now playing for the Potters, opens the scoring here in what could be a huge day in Stoke City history. Rafinha for Spurs, looking to get back into this. Shot comes in, Bilal with the save. Bit of a camera save, but he claws it away nonetheless. Rafinha to swing the corner in. Dragusin gets up, and that one's a little bit more comfortable. Rafinha looks to get away from Bassi, through the legs to Núñez, and just wide by the Uruguayan. This game is absolute chaos. Well, leading by 1 at the break. It has been a crazy half of football. Chances at both ends. I can't remember if Spurs need the win today or if they've got really much to play for, but Darwin Núñez won't care. Another big save by Bilal. And another corner for Spurs. Swung into that near post. Aarons has to get up and does, but it's given away. And the shot comes in from Spence this time. And Bilal is there again, keeping us in the game. Well, a bit of trouble here as Max Aarons goes down. And the goal scorer is going to have to come off here. Juranovic will come on to replace him. But from that corner, just landed awkwardly after a challenge with Dragusin. Juranovic, the sub, out to Linton. Subs combining, ball forward for Bay. Oscarson's in the middle. Can we pick him out? Yes, we can. Oscarson! The Iceman has his say on the final day of the Premier League season. Doubles our advantage, and hopefully now that will be enough to get the win. And we've just got to keep our fingers crossed that United are failing to win at Craven Cottage. Come on, man, it's still alive. Just got to see the game out now. Sonse forward to Julian Duranville. Ball swung into Darwin Núñez. Flamingo's not got there. And straight from kickoff, Darwin Núñez has his say. 16 to play. Spurs pull a goal back. Well, guys, you best believe I'm heading straight for that corner. Just been playing keep ball in the final few moments. 3 minutes added on. And all we've got to do is keep the ball right here in this corner. Linton doing a great job of shielding it. Given away. Drags his man down. And will take the yellow card. Love that from Linton. But I think that might do it as Dragusin sends it forward. Got to win this header. Núñez heads on. But there is the whistle. And Stoke City do win on the final day. But there are some subdued celebrations. I've no idea if we've done it. But we'll have to wait to see what the score was at the Cottage to see if we have completed it. A big win on the final day. Oscarson's goal, the winning goal after Nunes got Spurs back into it. But we just played keep ball in that final 15 minutes. I was not letting Spurs have a sniff. Well, as we get back to the menus, let's take a look. Did Fulham manage to hold United? Yes, they did. Go on, Fulham. What an end to the season for Marco Silva's side. And where is it? There they are, 2-2. Desmond 2-2 at the Cottage. And that result means that Stoke City sneak into 7th place on the final day. I thought after that 0-0 draw with the Seagulls at the end of the previous episode, that might be it for us. But we'll take a look at the full Premier League table where Arsenal on top, beating Manchester City to the title by just 1 point. With their win at Brighton on the final day. Liverpool and Newcastle wrap up the top 4 with Spurs. In the end, they didn't really have much to play for on the final day in 5th. Chelsea in 6th. Both of those two will head into the Europa League. And for Stoke City, we should be heading into the Conference League for next season. Manchester United, Brighton and Villa wrap up the top half. And the 3 going down this year, as I say, Fulham had a really good run to pull themselves out of the relegation zone. It will be Crystal Palace, Wolves and Leicester City heading back down to the Championship. Well, as for the Cups this year, in the EFL Cup, we were, of course, knocked out really, really early by the Gunners, but it was their North London rival Spurs who got to the final, taking on Bournemouth. But it was Tottenham who ended up ending the trophy drought. Well, actually, I don't know if they've won anything in this save, but winning the League Cup nonetheless. In the FA Cup, of course, we made it to the quarter-final stages, but lost at the Etihad to Manchester City, who were favourites to go on and lift the trophy, and taking on Ipswich in the final. Unfortunately, no cup set at Wembley, as Man City did go on to win the FA Cup this season. As for the European competitions, we'll start with the Conference League, which of course we will be playing next season. There were some big teams left in the competition at the quarter-final stage. But in the final, Sparta Prague took on Real Sociedad, where it was Sparta Prague of the Czech Republic winning the Conference League. Well, that is what this competition is all about. Those sorts of teams getting a chance to play in Europe and getting their hands on some silverware as well. You love to see that from Sparta Prague. And in the Europa League, again, a really strong quarter-final lineup where Spurs made it all the way to the Final 4, where they knocked out Real Betis to reach the final, taking on the Italians Napoli, where Spurs completed a Cup and European double, winning the Europa League and the Carabao Cup this season. Trophy curse? What trophy curse? And in Europe's elite, there were 3 English sides reaching the quarter-finals. But in the final 4, Chelsea knocking out the mighty Real Madrid. Man City smashed Juve 6-0 on aggregate. And in the final, Manchester City getting revenge after Porto in 2021, where Chelsea beat City by a 0-0 and getting their hands on, I think that's their 3rd or 4th Champions League of the save. I think it must be 3. And as for the individual player stats, well, Darwin Núñez, what a season for the Uruguayan. 30 goals in the end for Spurs, winning the Golden Boot and the Player of the Season as well. Despite Spurs dropping out of those top 4 spots, they of course will be playing Champions League football next season thanks to their Europa League win. And for Stoke City, our top scorer this year was of course Oscarson, who netted 15 league goals in 38, finished 13th in the scoring in what was a pretty solid season for the Iceman. And as for assists, well, a bit of a surprise at the top of the creating charts as Erling Haaland, who's so used to being top scorer, winning the top assister this season. But from a Stoke point of view, Borja Sainz and Bay both with 10 in 4th and 5th respectively. And that is exactly what I said I wanted from those two, playing in behind our number 9. And speaking of him, Oscarson also notched up 8 assists this season in 15th place in the assist charts, proving that he's not just a goal scorer but a creator as well. What a campaign for our forward players this season. And as for Bilal, his first golden glove of the save as he pips Unai Simon. I think they were level last season, but this year Bilal outright winner of the golden glove with 15 clean sheets in 38. We actually conceded more goals than I would have liked this season, quite a lot more than last campaign as well, but we do still see Bassi, Diamonde and Oskarsson all in the team of the season. So a really, really good campaign for Stoke City this year. And we'll take a look around the other leagues before one final look through the team for this campaign. But starting in the WSL, same 1-2 as last season, and it's Chelsea on top once again, pipping Manchester United to the WSL. In France, it's no surprise to see PSG top of the table, but they were runaway winners this year. After only being 2 clear last campaign, they were comfortably top this season. In Germany, it's back-to-back for Bayer Leverkusen as well, starting to create a bit of a dynasty under Xabi Alonso, as they were 13 clear of Bayern Munich this campaign. But I say it every year in Italy, it is a different winner, and that's the story this season as well, with AC Milan top of the tree, 2 points clear of last year's winners Inter, who were in third, but Roma level on points and losing out on the title by just 2 goals. In Holland, it's back-to-back for PSV as well, as they once again finish clear of Feyenoord by just 2 points this season, but a poor season for Ajax, down in 6th place. There is a change of winners in Portugal though, with Benfica back on top, quite a few points clear of Sporting, who only had 1 defeat, but 11 draws for them really hindered their progress as they have to concede the championship to their rivals Benfica. In Saudi Arabia, Al Ahly couldn't retain their title as Al Hilal back on top in the Saudi Pro League. And in Scotland, I know there's a lot of you guys that like to see what went on in the SPL, but it's Celtic this year back on top, pipping Rangers to the championship by just 5 points. It's always one of those two, Celtic and Rangers. I don't think I've ever seen anyone win it apart from either of the old firm boys. In Spain, Real Madrid retain the La Liga trophy as they finish 7 points clear of their rivals Atletico. But look at this, Osasuna in third place. What a campaign for them, just 4 defeats on the board all season long. And Barcelona had to settle for 4th place. What a campaign for Osasuna. Well, we'll have 2 more to close out, starting with the Turkish Super League, where Fenerbahce winning the championship once again. Mourinho creating a dynasty there in Turkey in this save. I think they've won it in every season, bar maybe one. And we'll close out with the MLS, where in the early stages it's Atlanta United, Emmanuel Latte-Lath's new side, currently leading the way with Lionel Messi's former side Inter Miami in third. But that will do it, taking a look around the league tables. Let's go and do one last look through of the squad in a bit more depth as we prepare for European football next season with Stoke City. I am so looking forward to that. Well, just a few little bits of admin quickly as we see that that injury for Max Aarons is a 4-month MCL, so he's probably going to miss the beginning of next season, which is a real shame because he's been superb for us. And also, the board unhappy that we didn't give Mark Gillespie a run out. Lads, he's 59 overall. Would you rather we qualify for European football or give a lad who's only been here for 3 or 4 years a run out in the final game? I know he's retiring, but come on. And yeah, as you can see, Gillespie down to 59 overall. And finally, EA have added a little -4 at the top so you can see how much a player has grown or decreased this season. It's only taken them about 6 or 7 months to implement that into the game. But we'll quickly run through the squad, starting with, of course, Bilal. Still got that potential to be special and up to 78 overall. 16 clean sheets in all competitions and, of course, won the goalkeeper of the tournament. I'm pretty sure we gave him a new deal in the summer, but on just 20 grand a week, there's every chance he gets another big bumper contract in the summer to keep him here for the long run, because he is one of the best young goalkeepers in the world. We've also got Enis Amatovic, another of the Bosnian goalkeepers. But he's got another year out on loan at Everton. He's grown 2 ratings, to be fair. Played 10 games in the Premier League. But yeah, he's never going to replace Bilal in the first team. We love Bilal, and he's not going anywhere. Stitkovic, a really good season's development for him, up 9 out on loan at Karlsruhe, and for Hadzic as well, both 69 overall. Up 6 this season on loan at Minnesota. Jordan Boz, fantastic season for the Aussie, up 1 overall. No goals, no assists, and of course was hit with that injury towards the end of the campaign, but I love him down that left-hand side. He's absolutely electric. And Miles Lewis-Skelly as well, up 3 overall. Really, really happy with him. And depending on the budget next season, I would like to try and bring him back on a permanent deal from the Italians, Atalanta, because as a backup to Jordan Boz, I do really, really like him. We've got some good young fullbacks as well. I've given out quite a lot of pro deals as we had players unhappy. So, yeah, lots of youth players coming into the team, as Rivas has potential to be special. Jiku, we know he's going to be leaving in the summer. I'm hoping he's not going to retire, because I do want to shift him on. Just a year left on his contract, and he's handed in that transfer request. Didn't really feature too much this season because Calvin Bassey and Flamingo, these two were ever present in the Premier League. Flamingo up 3 to 83 overall. He's looking like a really good pickup in the summer. Bash didn't feature too much, but a good squad player with Lawal to have, especially if we're playing European football next year. We're going to need players like this. Didn't feature much this year with no European football, but definitely plan on keeping both of those guys. Another couple of young lads who will probably go back out on loan, and of course Max Aarons, I discussed him briefly. What a campaign for the Englishman. 4 goals and 1 assist, but he was just superb down that right-hand side. Gutted about the injury that will probably see his development hampered. Of course, he is now 28, so not going to become a world beater, but yeah, I did really like Max Aarons down the right this season. Juranovic was a decent cover option as well. Featured 22 times and will most likely stay for next year, as I am going to look for some experienced players now that we are playing European football. But we've also got this man waiting in the wings, Joel Rigby. Looks really good, and he will be returning from a loan spell at Norwich. Elliot Anderson, again, will probably go out on loan. Diamande and Danilo, both superb in the heart of that midfield. Just both very solid. Featured in pretty much all of our games. Diamande, making that team of the season, did feature in every league game with 1 goal and 2 assists. But we've got some really good midfielders. Of course, the likes of Kata, Dahoud. So especially next year playing European football, we will have to rotate a bit more. As for the wide men, Linton comes off the bench a lot with that pace, but doesn't start as much as he did a couple of years ago. But I do like him just because of that raw pace, so he will probably stay for next season. With just a year left on his deal, we'll maybe give him a new contract if he'll take a reduced squad role. But as for Borja Sainz, what a campaign for the Spaniards. 7 goals and 10 assists. Came in, of course, from Norwich City in the summer and proved to be a fantastic signing, as did this man coming in on a free, Jeremy Sarmiento, the Ecuadorian. 4 goals and 3 assists. Pretty decent return considering he didn't start too many games this season and mainly came off the bench. But as for the skipper, Bay, we know that he features mainly now in behind the striker, and what a return for the skipper. 9 goals and 10 assists, probably his best season in a Stoke shirt. And with that injury, of course, he did miss quite a lot of football. But if I can keep him, Sainz and Oscarson fit next season, I think we can have a really, really good campaign, as they're all growing nicely. Dahoud will probably remain another of those players with experience. Just a year left on his deal, but will probably remain. As for Thompson, I may look to finally let him leave. One of the OGs, but doesn't feature a lot, just 5 appearances in all competitions. And very similar to Matthew, now 31. One of, if not both of these guys will leave in the summer. They're not going to bring in a lot of money, but there's not really much point in keeping them at the club. As for Sidibe, I want to bring him back, as he is a Stoke City Academy grad. And of course, we're going to need those players for the European squad registration. So Sol Sidibe will probably remain next season, which means it's even more likely that Thompson and Matthew depart. But as for Kata, we know that he doesn't feature quite as much from the start this season. But he was still fantastic. Featured in 35 of our 38 Premier League games. Just pure energy in the heart of midfield, and a great option to either bring off the bench or have in our midfield. Just a year left on his contract, so I probably will look to extend that next season. Jude's going to go out on loan. A really good 6-month spell for this lad. Angel Munoz heading out to Wolves. He will be back in the summer, but again, we'll probably look to loan him out. Galbraith will probably remain. Again, didn't feature too much, mainly off the bench and in the cups, but he did notch up a goal this season. As for Millian, another of the OGs, I love Millian. He had a really good spell when he came back from injury. Hit that hat-trick against, oh God, I can't remember who it was. It was Crystal Palace, where he came on around the hour mark and hit a hat-trick. But 7 goals and 4 assists in what was a pretty injury-hit season is a decent return for the Dutchman. And again, one of the OGs, so we love Millian. Chekimani will go out on loan. Pratt is another of the youth academy players. He will go out on loan. Love to see the potential to be special. Decent season for Clements Fink, up to 77 overall. And I think Clements Warner will probably go out on loan next season as well, as he didn't feature too much. Did get 2 assists, but I think he definitely needs a loan spell. Kiko, Eloni Palakiko, looks really solid, up 6 overall, and he'll be heading back from his loan in the summer, and we'll look to get him out on loan once again. Nearly there, guys, just bear with. Danjuma, not quite as good of a season for the Dutchman this season. No goals for him, which is a real shame, but 3 assists, mainly featured off the bench and not as much from the off. But yeah, not a great return for Danjuma. Just a year left on his deal. We could potentially look to cash in on him next summer if we are looking to bring in some more forward players. As for the big man, Adam, Mr. Clutch, you know I love him. 4 goals and 1 assist for the Hungarian, now 33 years of age. With Mitrovic coming in next year, he's probably not going to feature too much, but we've got such a big soft spot for the big man, so I'll definitely keep him here until retirement. But the Iceman, what a campaign for him. Just 23 years of age, up 4 ratings to 85 overall. And now that we've qualified for Europe, he's definitely not going anywhere. I thought if we missed out on European football, there could be a chance that he departed. But with us playing, yes, it's only Conference League, but at just 23 years of age, I think he'd be happy to stay. And he's still got 3 years left on his deal. We've got a few players out on loan. Tesgale will be returning, but Kaufman and Baumgartner, both growing nicely, will have another year out on loan. And Adam Ward, another of the youngsters, will be heading on to the loan list. So a really good season for Stoke City. We scored some more goals this year. We had some good contribution from the 3 behind the striker, mainly Sainz, Millian and Bay, and of course Oscarson with a really fantastic campaign, with 15 goals and 8 assists. And Sainz and Bay, I said in the summer I was really looking forward to having those guys, and once we got them fit and firing, they turned into a real force to be reckoned with in the Premier League. As for next season, I'm not too sure what we're going to do in terms of our recruitment. It sort of depends how much money we have, but I'm really happy with the squad. I think it's really well balanced, and most of the players in the starting lineup are at a similar level. So yeah, not really got too many plans for the summer. We might just have to sort of see where the window takes us. But yeah, really looking forward to next season. There's not too much more to go through. So I think that will do it for today's video, guys. But we'll be back in the next episode to crack on into the new season. Season 5, where of course we will have European football. And with that in mind, I will look to bring in some players with some European pedigree. So really looking forward to the summer window. I'll catch you for that episode very soon, guys. Take care and peace.